everyone, welcome to Mims Photography, and want to do a quick little tutorial here to kind of help out some friends and some people just getting started into photography and photo editing. Lightroom's kind of a tool that'll take you to the next level. I know some of you are using iPhoto or maybe Picasa, things of that nature, and Lightroom's kind of a little more professional on the editing side, and now it's only $10 a month, which includes Photoshop. And years ago, this was a $300 program, and Photoshop would have cost you $1,000, and you can get both of these now for basically 120 bucks a year. It's a great deal. So let's get to it. The thing I want to talk about today, starting out, and when I first got into photography, people always who have been doing this a while said you got to look at the histogram. Your camera's got a histogram. Well, Lightroom's got a histogram as well. The histogram is basically a graph of all the data in your photo. And this particular photo here, if you look at it, it's kind of dark, it's underexposed, and we're going to fix some of those things. Now, first thing that I do now is I go up and look at my histogram, and it tells me all the data that's here. And if I look at the histogram, it tells me on the far left how much I've got in blacks, how much I've got in shadows, tells me how much I've got in exposure. And it says highlights and whites. Now we don't have a whole lot of whites in this picture. It's kind of dark. The sky is kind of hidden. Didn't use a flash. Highlights, we don't have hardly any. We got some exposure, but we've got a lot of shadows and a lot of blacks. And a matter of fact, if you look at this triangle up here on the top left, that is a clipping tab, which tells you you've kind of gone pretty far off the black side in this photo. And if we go down here and look, these little blue dots, these specks here, that's telling us if we were to print this photo, those areas would be 100% black where those blue dots are. There's nothing else there besides just black. And I like to bring some of that data out when I can. If there's a black wall, well, it's a black wall. There's not much you could do with that, and you'd probably want it to be that way. But in this picture, I want to bring some of that out so I don't lose anything that's kind of hidden in those bushes and those trees. So let's do a quick edit here. If I grab this black slider, I can slide that to the right. And what that does is kind of brings that black area out into the photo, kind of exposing it some. And if you look back up here at the histogram, we've lost that little white clipping triangle on the left. It's gone. It was right there. So it's now telling us if we were to print it, there'd be something else there besides 100% black ink. But our shadows up here in the histogram, they're still pretty high. And if you look in the photo here in this area in the bushes, you really can't see in there. That could be okay, but I want to bring that out a little bit. I want to bring those shadows out. Oops, turn that off. We've also got some more shadows over here in these trees, and I kind of want to bring some of that detail out as well. So I'm going to crank up our shadows tab here a little bit. And again, we can watch the histogram. It's changing up there. And if you look at the bushes, they've kind of came out. And we've got some detail here now. We can actually see inside those bushes. So if there's something hiding in there, we know it's there. We still need some exposure, I feel. So I'm going to grab our exposure tab. I'm going to bring that up a little bit. There we go. Now, if you look, we've kind of popped on the right side now. Our clippings are popping on the right side now. And these are our whites and a little bit of our highlights, but I am going to just drag the whites down. So let's get the zoom off. I'm going to grab the whites. I'm going to drag those over to the left, take some of that out. There we go. Now the only thing I might do is kind of maybe add a little contrast, and that'll separate the whites and the blacks and make it pop just a little bit more. So let's give this a little bit of contrast, and it will flatten that histogram out a little bit as well. There we go. All right. That's just a basic edit of just exposure, contrast. Didn't really touch the highlights, but we got some shadow adjustments, some whites, some blacks. And let's just look. Here's a little before and after. So you can look on the left there, it was pretty dark. On the right, we kind of brought all that out. We've actually got some detail over here in our shadows. I'm sorry, we got some detail in the bushes that we didn't have before. Over here on the left side, that was before, so it's showing us where we had too much black. Again, if that's what you want, that's fine, but in this particular photo, I want to bring that out. So join me for next time. I'm going to do some color correction. We'll talk about some white balance. And then also this wall here is leaning backwards, and it's primarily because of the camera and the lens. So I'm going to show you next time how to make that wall stand up. Again, thanks for joining and have a good day.